I'm asking because I feel like that is a gigantic theme today. That men searching for some sort of reason or some sort of, I guess, without a better word, path, some sort of path. I mean, it seems to be very, very prevalent today in almost all walks of life. Men feel disenfranchised with this world that they find themselves stuck in.
Well, there's a reason that superhero movies are so popular. You know, that's polytheism. That's the return of polytheism for all intents and purposes. I mean, what the hell are those things? They're demigods. Right. Obviously, one of them's Thor, for God's sake. I mean, how more obvious could it be?
Right.
You know, and so you might say, well, who's the leader of the demigods? Because that's the person you really want to follow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the evolutionary answer to that is, well, the evolutionary answer to that, as far as the Christian route went, was Christ. But there's been lots of embodiments of that. For the Mesopotamians, it was Marduk. Marduk was the savior figure. He had eyes all the way around his head, and he spoke magic words. That was his fun. That's what made him different from all the other gods. And he was elected by all the other gods to be their king. And then he went out and fought Tiamat, who's a great dragon, and made the world out of her pieces. One of his names was he who makes ingenious things out of the combat with Tiamat. Well, that's what human beings do, is they go out into the unknown, into chaos, and they make ingenious things out of it. That's what we do. And so that Marduk was the founder of Mesopotamian civilization. And you could think about all those tribes came together to make Mesopotamia. They all had a god. And so then those gods went to war. And out of that war of gods, a meta-god emerged. That was Marduk. And Marduk is one of the sources for the figure of Christ. That happened all over the place. Like, you see the admirable man, then you see 10 admirable men, and you think, wow, those guys have something in common. That's what you remember about them, you see? You remember the heroic things they've done because they stick in your memory, because they fit the pattern. And then you start telling the story about the heroic things that a bunch of them did. It all amalgamates together. And then you come out with your culture hero, your god. Then there's like 50 tribes. They each have their own gods. Well, what are you going to do then? The gods go to war over centuries. And then they elect a new god, Marduk, in the case of the Mesopotamians. And he's the thing that goes out and fights the dragon of chaos and makes the world. It's like, yeah, that's exactly what he is. You do that with truth, because truth introduces you to chaos.
Why do you think, though, it's so much of an issue with males as opposed to females in our society?
Maybe females already have enough to do. Like, really. Like maybe men have to take this on voluntarily. That's what it looks like to me. Because like you can screw around till you're 50.